Good day, everyone. Welcome back to the Doc of Detox show. Today's show is The Secrets of Vastu, Feng Shui on Steroids with Brian Gangel. Before we begin, I would like to talk about the Legends of Health conference in Markham, Ontario. I just want to say this, and I truly believe this, that this is going to be the pinnacle of health conferences for Canada, and it'll definitely rate up in the top 10 throughout North America. And when you see the lineup and when you see the personal take action training that all of these professors, doctors, lecturers that have been around for a long time are going to give you, you are going to understand that this is a wealth of information that I haven't seen in one place in 4 days since I've been in health for years. So you will want not to miss this life-changing 4-day event. It takes place from April the 30th to May the 3rd. During this time, I will be delivering 4 comprehensive lectures called How to Thrive and Stay Alive on Planet Earth. It will be from 9 until 5, so it's a full day, but understand something. When you walk away from this, you're going to have the rules how to play the Earth game. And do you think you do? You'll know if you have the rules when you are in a place of emotional and physical balance and there is no dis-ease in your life. My next lecture will be called Inflammation to Cancer, a Scar Tissue Issue. And this will be from 2 until 4. Well, I'll be working on fibroids, where I'll be working on knee problems, shoulder problems, where I'll be showing that surgery is not the only option and that scar tissue calcification and crystallization are the underlying cause of all illness. You heard what I said. Next lecture, the next day, will be medicine, mind over medicine, from 8 until 9 p.m. And this is what? Where the mind goes, the body follows. And understand something. The best medicine that you'll ever have is vitamin L. And I'm going to show you how to self-medicate. All right. The next day will be creating the perfect day for the perfect life. That'll be from 11 and 12 till 12 o'clock noon. And I'm going to be showing you how to create the perfect day from the minute that you open up those beautiful eyes until you put that beautiful head back down on the pillow. I will also be speaking on a panel of experts at 2 p.m. All right. So you're not going to want to miss this event. All right. And Brian Gangel will be running a lecture called The Lost Legends, Remembering the Secrets They Taught Us on Saturday, May 2nd. You won't want to miss this. It's from 3 until 4 o'clock. He will also be doing a workshop on Vastu, and we will keep you updated, and you won't want to miss this workshop. And for most of you, I bet you don't even know what it is, but you're going to find out today. So let's begin the show. Brian is the health detective. He's known throughout North America because he is the health detective. He is a holistic practitioner, educator, and he's one of the best business coaches I think I've known in my lifetime. And I have to say this, guys, he truly is. I mean, he's organizing this whole event. He's put his heart and soul into it. If you want to talk about somebody with passion and purpose, and he's the real deal, we're talking about Brian. Brian is an honorary doctor of humanitarian services granted by the World Organization of Natural Medicine. Since 1995, he has been dedicated to healing the human body by observing the driver behind the disease and disorder. To top all that off, he is the CEO of Quantum Events Canada, the organizers, the driving force of the Legends of Health conference. How are you today, Brian, my dear friend?
Well, thank you so much for inviting me on the Doc of Detox show, Dr. Darrell. It's a great honor to be here. And oh my goodness, have we got a blockbuster barn burner of an event to tell you about. This is the 3rd year of the National Conference of Traditional Healing, featuring the Legends of Health. And oh my goodness, like you said, we have got one amazing lineup of speakers. And if you will, I'll go through some of the headliners that we have coming here to Toronto this spring on April 30th to May 3rd.
I would love that. And also, maybe you could just let some of the people know of some of the headliners that have decided to be on my show prior to the Legends Conference, and so that they can actually get a taste of what they're going to be getting.
Well, most of the speakers and presenters, which are coming in from around the world and North America, are going to be interviewed on the Doc of Detox show. So definitely stay tuned to the show schedule to see who the upcoming speakers and presenters that Dr. Darrell will be interviewing. You won't be disappointed. First and foremost, we are going to have our headline speaker, which is T. Colin Campbell. He wrote The China Study. He's a professor at Cornell University. He's written the book Whole. He's an incredible researcher known all over the world, one of the most highly sought after speakers, and he'll be delivering 2 workshops at the conference. And we're very excited to have him. And if that wasn't enough, we've got Ralph Moss, PhD. Ralph Moss is a legend, worked with Sloan Kettering, was one of the head researchers on the Laetrile issue, did the movie Second Opinion. He is the author of Questioning Chemotherapy. He is the author of the world legend Moss Reports. He has a brand new book and movie coming out called Cancer Incorporated. And it's a very rare honor that he comes to Canada, and he is coming and he's going to be delivering 2 workshops with his son. And so we're very excited to have Ralph Moss, PhD. It gets even better because in the Clements, Brian and Anna Maria from the Hippocrates Health Institute in Florida, one of the largest health institutes in the world, they'll be coming up with their entire entourage to deliver 4 lectures and workshops. And if you haven't heard them talk before, they're absolutely incredible on stage. We have Jackie Harvey was just announced, one of the foremost experts on women's hormones. And she is flying in from Arizona via Dubai. And so we're very excited that she's going to be coming on board with us. Dame Dr. Sheila McKenzie, the president of the World Organization of Natural Medicine, will be delivering a talk. Dr. Stanley Nye, 50-generation traditional Chinese medicine. We're going to have Mindy Blackstein and Jeffrey Kipple from Fame Media. These guys are legends in the fitness industry, and they have decided to say that health and nutrition has to be part of being fit to be healthy. And so they are working on a brand new program, and they're going to be launching it live at the National Conference of Traditional Healing. And they're going to have their red carpet out, and they're going to be taking photos and interviews live there as well. One of the biggest announcements just happened is, if you have been watching, there's been an event very similar to The Truth About Cancer dedicated to diabetes called the National Holistic Diabetes Solutions Summit. And it was 12 nights online. And the founder of the organization, Dr. Cheryl Anofsky, has agreed to bring the entire conference, that's the Diabetes Solutions Summit, live to our event. And so that's going to be amalgamated in our event. We just got off the phone with Andrea Donsky. She's going to be our moderator for 3 panel discussions, which are going to be happening on Sunday. The first will be, and if you've never been, last year it was unbelievable. The room was packed. The main ballroom was packed as we put all of these legends on stage together. And I'll tell you some more of the people that are coming, but we put them on stage together. They don't know the questions. Andrea Donsky from Naturally Savvy fires off the questions, and then you get to see them think on their feet, and you get to see why they are the legends in health. So the first grouping is going to be couples. The second grouping is going to be legends, and then the third grouping is going to be from the Board of Integrated Medicine Practitioners. So that is going to be an incredible afternoon. Then you've got Dr. Akbar Khan, who has MedCore, is one of the best cancer doctors, is an MD, and he's going to be coming delivering a workshop and a lecture as well. Professor George Grant, Ursula and Peter Schnell from Lidos Crystals. We have Dr. Marcel Wolfe from Zepter, and then Angela Shim, Sharon Walsh, Lynn Himmelin, and then we're just about to make the announcement for Gabriel Cousins. And of course, we have Mabel Katz from the Opuna Puna movement, and she's going to be coming up as well from Miami and from California. Now, all this and many more speakers yet to be announced. And Darrell, the framework for this event is unbelievable. On Thursday, April 30th, and you are part of this, and that's why you're predominantly featured through it, because I consider you to be one of the legends of health, is we have 6 full-day workshops. This is designed for practitioners, professionals, and the general public to experience. This, by the way, is included in an all-access ticket, by the way. All these events I'm about to say are all included in a one all-access ticket. So these 6 workshops are going to happen all day long, including your incredible workshop, which I'll definitely be sitting in on because I can't wait to hear it. And I've heard you on stage before, and you're one of the most dynamic speakers I've ever seen, with more passion than anybody else I know in the industry. So kudos to you. I can't wait. And then, of course, in the evening of Thursday, the headline speakers are going to take the stage, including Master Francesco Quintero from the Canadian Tau Calligraphy Association. And the first time I went to see these guys, I was mesmerized on how Tau calligraphy can be incorporated as part of traditional healing. Remember, this conference brings together everyone, the influencers, the leaders, the movers and shakers of the natural, traditional, and holistic healing worlds, all coming together for the National Conference of Traditional Healing. So we include all modalities, all walks of life that have the ability to come and deliver education, information, teach, train, coach, and motivate the public, professionals, practitioners alike, on how to put this human body back together. And we are really like blind squirrels wandering around, and once in a while we get a little acorn that drops on our head, and it comes from every corner around the globe. And that's the reason I'm so passionate about this amazing event. And we know that we're going to have 500 to 700 attendees at the event. We're very, very excited. The second day is going to be, are you ready for this? 24 workshops with more speakers that I'm going to be announcing shortly. And these are 2-hour workshops. And Dr. Darrell, you have your workshop planned. I know the room's going to be absolutely rammed to hear your workshop. And this is going to be happening all at the same time. And so you can partake all day long of any one of these 2-hour workshops, 24 of them for you to choose from. Can you imagine that? That's what I call value for your dollar. The next is at night, the first legends will take the stage. So the first wave of legends will take the stage on Friday, May 1st. Now on Saturday, we switch things up. We convert the ballrooms over from workshops into vendor gardens. And we have 4 of them set up. One called the New Horizons Ballroom, which allows you to go in and see brand new products that have not been seen before in the marketplace and get to experience them, get a back end window before everybody else. And then we have the consult with the Docs Ballroom. And Darrell, you're going to be in that ballroom, and you can go up and meet the Doc of Detox live and have a mini consultation with him and his staff, and they'll be there along with all of the other docs. Wow, that is going to be one exciting ballroom. And then, of course, we have the World Healing Ballroom and the New Products Ballroom. All of this is all going to be happening. And all day long in the main ballroom, the Legends of Health will be delivering 1-hour lectures or workshops all day long, right into the late hours of the evening. And then on Sunday, everything comes together. All of the legends and all of the headliners and all of the workshops come together as we deliver the panel talks in the afternoon. What an amazing conference. And just to give you an idea, last year, we did a survey of those who came to the conference last year, and we asked them, how would you rate the conference? And, I'm not bragging. It's not bravado. I'm not trying to sell it. I'm just telling you the facts. The fact is, we did 148 surveys. We got an average rating of how good our event was of 9.5. I have yet to be at any conference, any seminar, anywhere in the world, and I've traveled all over the place to see these seminars. I've never seen that kind of feedback. This year, it's going to be even better. And so, Darrell, I'm very excited to have the Doc of Detox coming over to Toronto live this spring on April 30th to May 3rd for the National Conference of Traditional Healing, featuring the Legends of Health on stage. I hope I didn't foam at the mouth on that, but it just gives you an idea of how excited I am about this amazing event.
The whole thing is all you did was just lay out what actually is just going to happen. And I want everybody to understand something, that I'm the one that's honored to be able to do this, okay? It's my honor to actually be there and to be part of something amazing. Isn't it what we all want, is an amazing life? And you know what? When you find your passion and your purpose, then you have an amazing life. And when you learn how to tap into that infinite energy within inside yourself, it's called feed the spirit, heal the body. And I'll tell you something, at the Legends of Health, you are going to be able to feed the spirit and heal your body. Bottom line. And for those of you that watch my show, this is my gift to you. I'm going to give 60 tickets that we're going to take $100 off. They're $197, so you're going to pay $97. When those 60 tickets are gone, then they're gone. So if you've always wanted to join, look at whether you got to take a boat, plane, or train. Okay, I promise you, that $100 can go to buy the ticket. Okay, so we really hope to see everybody there. So let's get started because this show is really dedicated to Brian. Because let me tell you something. Let's talk about Brian now for a while and just understand the man behind the plan. Okay, so can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself, Brian, and also
Absolutely.
talk about the Vastu principles? Would you do that? Just take your time and just let them know who you are, what you're about, where you came from, and what it is you are and what you want to do with your life. How's that?
That's good. If I can, just for a quick second, Dr. Darrell, I know you just made an amazing offer for everyone, and it's very, very generous of you to help out with that. Just let everybody know a separate eventbrite.com, that's a ticketing portal service called Eventbrite. A separate one has been set up for the Doc of Detox. And what we've done is you go to Eventbrite and you key in the search menu, Doc of Detox live in Toronto. It'll take you to that special ticket portal where, as you said, we have 60 tickets available that they can purchase. And the regular price for this event is $295. The special price, which only lasts until March 1st on the main ticket portal, is $197.50, like you just said. And if you are a member of the Doc of Detox or watching this show, then you can go to that ticket portal from Doc of Detox live at Eventbrite, and you can get a ticket for only $97.50. And so that's very generous of you to do that, Dr. Darrell. Well, a little bit of a background about myself. As you said, I'm a doctor in humanitarian services. I'm a board certified integrative medicine practitioner. I am the brand ambassador for Premier Research Labs in Canada. I'm the international diplomat for the Quantum Research Council of America. I'm a certified herbalist, iridologist, kinesiologist, health coach, nutritional consultant, quantum reflex analyst, holistic skincare specialist, environmental consultant, master in Vastu, energy sciences, life path trainer, culinary nutritionist, raw food chef. I'm also an ordained cleric and reverend, and my areas of study are quantum physics, biochemistry, biology, and food sciences. Now, at the end of the day, I'm just a good old-fashioned healer, and I'm just trying to understand how the human body works. And people say, Brian, you're very, very smart. No, I stand on the shoulders of some very, very bright boys and girls out there that have really done the grunt work, and I just transmit the information to them. I'm very, very passionate about what I do, and I own 4 companies, and one of them is my events company, which is Quantum Events Canada, and that's where all of the conferences are coming from. Most of the information about my events, my conferences, my courses, what I do, and including the Big Legends Conference is available at my website, which is just simply bgangel.com. When I was early on starting out, one of my great mentors was Dr. Robert Marshall, PhD. And when I went down to hear him talk, he was talking about the hierarchy of healing, the drivers. The drivers really are the key to understanding how the human body works. And it went something like this. There was 4 categories and sort of 3 subcategories within it. There was the deficiencies, which we know as food, digestion, and sleep and rest. Then there were the infections or immune-specific issues like nanobacteria and virus and parasites, the great mimic. Then there were the toxins like the chemotoxic load to the body, the dental dilemma that we have to deal with, and of course the environmental toxins and the new dragon, EMFs, electromagnetics. Then when you got to the highest part of this pyramid, if you will, then there were the blockages to healing. And they included the emotions, definitely at the top there, the blockages in the electrical nerve flow through the body, and the Vastu. And the Vastu, which is spelled V-A-S-T-U, the Vastu, which means the vessel, this is how the human body is actually plugged into the source energies. Think of the body as a battery. If you've seen the movie The Matrix, when Morpheus holds up the battery and says to convert the body into a human being into a battery, it's not far from the truth, actually. We are a carbon cycle repository, and that energy is charged up. It's charged up by the source energies. Vastu is understanding those source energies and then teaching people how to plug themselves into that recharger. And, we do a lot of things, Dr. Darrell, that charge the human body, like meditation and sleep and good quality food. And then we do a lot of silly things that discharge the human body. like stress, somebody cuts you off, eating some junk food, eating something on the standard American diet. All of these things discharge the body. So if we could return back to the nest, the domicile, our home, and the home recharges the body, then we leave the next day fully charged and alive and happy and smiling. And then when people meet us, they go, I don't know what that person is doing, but I definitely want to be associated with them. I want to do more business with them. I want to hang more with them. And that's why they say that Vastu is the key to outrageous health and outrageous wealth. And it truly is the secrets of the ancients. So, in a simple definition, it's the art of capturing those beneficial source energies to achieve outrageous health and wealth. It's also the removal of the blockages that drain the life forces from our body. Vastu is basically understanding these bioenergies which are all around us. And the interesting thing is, they're free. You just have to tap into them. Some of the ancient cultures go back 8,500 years in India, and of course in China. So there's other versions. There's Feng Shui, which people are very familiar with. And then there's Shastra, which is, and I've read the Shastra text, which is almost 3,500 pages. But then there's the one that's rooted in quantum physics, biochemistry, and biology, known as the Vastu. And that's the one that we teach. That's the one where we educate people. And I got to tell you, when I first heard about it for the very first time, and I'm pretty much a science guy, but I'm pretty open-minded too. When I first heard the utilization of source energies to achieve outrageous health and wealth and being at the top of this health pyramid, I thought, oh, no, that's not for me. But I got to tell you something. If you are positioned right and the Vastu is right, food and nutrition becomes optional. Whoa. We're not talking about some little thing here. In the hierarchy of healing, we're talking about the thing. If you can change the Vastu, amazing things can happen.
You're so absolutely right. And, and I'm not trying to bring it down to a simpler level, but, where the mind goes, the body must go. I mean, the mind is the director, but you're even taking it to a higher level. It's not the mind, it's the energy that we learn how to master and tap into. Am I right?
Absolutely correct.
Okay. And it's the invisible that creates the visible, and it's the invisible that creates the physical. And when you do not know how to master the Vastu, then what you're doing is creating invisible blocks that create physical blocks, and then we call those diseases. What do you think, Brian?
I agree with you completely.
Yeah.
And it's an understanding of what are these source energies that we talk about that charge the body and the mind, the pneuma, and lead to emotional unbalance, lead to physiology unbalance. Well, they're really broken down, if I may, into three simple categories. And I'm a member of the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada, and so I understand astronomy very well. And so when I heard about the three different types of source energies, it made perfect sense. First is the ones that we're familiar with, that are here on Mother Earth. That's the gravitational and the geomagnetic energies. And those guys are really broken down into different magnetic waves that we're all familiar with. Schumann waves, which oscillate from the Earth to the sky. The Curie lines, which is a global network around the globe. The Hartmann waves. This is an interesting magnetic movement inside the Earth. If you ever were somewhere really quiet and you happen to have a stethoscope and you put it to the Earth, you would hear the thump, 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 thump of the Earth. That's the Hartmann waves. And so when we take a look at these different geomagnetic waves, like gravitational waves and geomagnetic waves, these are from within our Mother Earth, from inside the planet. But we have other ones. Let's go a little further out. So a little further out, we have the energy which comes from our sun. So this is solar and lunar energies. So a little bit further out from Mother Earth. Well, the sun produces amazing waves, which we measure as proton energy. And these produce electricity. And it's such a magnitude of electricity that they actually call it a MeV, which stands for millions of volts. And we know that sunlight is powerful because it's necessary for plants, for photosynthesis. And we know that it helps with production of vitamin D in the body, which we know as the feel-good vitamin. And And if you get a nice suntan, it's good for your skin. But the sun also puts out bursts of energy, and sometimes it can be devastating. They measure those in something called BEVs, which stands for billions of volts. And so too many BEVs can be fatal. In fact, we had a burst of energy from the sun many years ago, which almost took out the entire telecommunications satellite network. Now, another interesting offshoot of solar energy, which you can harvest in the Vastu, your home, is the moon. Now, interesting is that a lot of interesting things happen when we have a full moon. People act a little bit crazy and wolves bark at the moon and blah, blah, blah. But really, the moon has no energy source of its own. So what we're seeing is reflected light from the sun. So normally, the circadian rhythms say that if it's nighttime in the Vastu, that you go to sleep. But if there's a full reflection of the sun onto the moon, then our circadian rhythms and nature's circadian rhythms become a little bit disrupted. And that's what leads to the craziness that you experience. Even things like parasites inside the body tend to be more active, and there's been a lot of studies showing that they can be more active during a full moon phase. Now, if we go back a little bit further out, we have another source energy that we can tap into called cosmic energy. Now, cosmic energy is measured in something called muons, spelled M-U-O-N-S. And muons pass through every single thing on Earth. So where we think that something like a tabletop is solid, it's actually not. Under an atomic microscope, if you took a look at it from a subatomic level, it's actually very porous, and muon particles are passing through it every single day. In fact, one of the experiments that was done to show muon energy's existence was a deep borehole that was drilled out in northern part of Russia. And what they did is they dropped a line down this hole. And if this hole was something like, don't quote me on it, about 5 kilometers deep. And they dropped a wire down with a sensor every 100 feet. Then what they did, they filled it with water. And an interesting thing happened. You would think that it would, because the core of the Earth was hot, you'd think that it would just stay hot. And it actually froze. And what ended up happening is they turned on the sensors and they seen these shard lines moving through the ice, which was the confirmation that muon energy was actually in existence. So we can capture muon energy. And when you see a star like our sun, millions and millions of miles away, we call them light years. When it explodes at the end of its life, it throws out huge amounts of energy, which you know as a supernova. That is also an explosion of muon energy. So if we can capture muon energy, if we can understand solar energy, and if we can tap into geomagnetic energies here on Earth, we can charge the human battery. And if we can charge the human battery and we can learn how to plug into those source energies, limitless healing potential awaits you. The key to the whole puzzle is your sensitivities to those energies and how long your exposure is. If you're a very sensitive people, I'm sure, Dr. Darrell, you've had people come in which are, like, for instance, EMF sensitive or photosynthesis or herbal sensitive. If you're very sensitive, a few changes in the Vastu is going to have a profound change on your physiology and on your healing process. And if you have a longer exposure to those source energies, obviously the battery will be charged up a lot deeper. That is what we call the keys to the Vastu.
Wow. So basically, the key too, though, is you've got to be open to it, or else you can't turn on to it. And it's like people go, you know what? I've never seen that before. And I've been in this room so many times, or I've walked into this forest so many times, I've never seen that. Or I read a book and I never read that, but when I read it the second time or third time, now I see it. It's allowing yourself and opening yourself up to possibilities.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's perfect. A perfect analogy for it. Great description of how it works. If you don't open yourself up to it, if you don't allow those energies to come in, then nothing's going to change. I'll give you a great example. A friend of mine, Janie, she was a practitioner. This was going back almost 20 years ago when I first understood the Vastu. And I'll tell you about my own experience first. My own experience of understanding the Vastu, as soon as I came back from the conference and learning about the Vastu, and I took all the courses in the US that were available on the Vastu at that time. When I came back, I called up my mentors and my teachers at that time and I said, what do I do with all this information? You went on for 4 days and I still have no idea what this was. And what they said is you're just going to have to create the McDonald's version for people to understand. And once I really dove into it, changed the Vastu in my own life, my net wealth went geometric and never looked back. My friend Janie comes to me one day and she goes, my practice is kind of, floundering out. And I'm wondering if you can do a few of these little Vastu things, but not too much because I don't want my spouse to freak out, seeing any kind of weird things going on in my house. I said, well, we'll do a few things in your living room. A few simple things in your living room. A month later, she has a friend over for lunch. And she says, Janie, there's something different about you. You seem a little happier these days. She goes, yeah, I know. And, I heard that your practice, you're looking for a new place. And she said, yeah, I'm looking for a new place to start my practice. And she goes, you know what? There's an office available in my building. Why don't you come on down and take a look at it? So she went down to take a look at it. And it turns out it was a medical building with one office for a naturopath. And Janie was a naturopath. So she took the office. Her first month, she was receiving all the referrals from the medical doctors. When they saw a patient and they said, do you have anything alternative you can help with, doc? They send her down to the naturopath's office. 23 referral machines in the same building, all funneling to her. She did $25,000 in sales, her biggest month ever. She was so thrilled. Later, she wrote me a testimonial, and I have a drawer filled with letters from people over the years with these incredible stories just like this, saying that person opened up an opportunity to me because they felt a different kind of energy in the living room when we were sitting together. And in that moment, a new opportunity presented itself. And just like you said, Dr. Darrell, if you're open to that, what the Vastu does is presents the opportunity to you. You're the one that still has to walk through the door. That's what Vastu is all about. That's the magic.
And if I can, Brian, I want everyone to understand something, because here's what happens. The subconscious mind, as soon as it hears something that is not familiar with any prominent belief you have, it goes into voodoo, it goes into occult, it goes into ridiculousness because it wants to protect you. But understand something. Everything that Brian's talking about can be scientifically proven, and it's been around for centuries and centuries, and they knew it because they felt it back then, but we can actually test it, verify it, measure it. So just because you haven't heard it before, okay, don't shut down. Don't let your subconscious, which is 90% of your brain, rule your life, because your subconscious mind will always try to not dumb you down, but numb you out to new ideas. It doesn't matter if the new idea is going to save your life or open up your life. So I want to tell everybody right now that you embrace these new things and embrace Brian's new information. Check out this. Does anybody realize why I have this show? Because I don't know it all. I know a little bit very well, but only a little bit, and that's why we bring on people like Brian that just take us off to another place, another time and space, because your human potential is measured by the invisible. Brian.
Yeah, that's exactly true. Everything that is in my world, I look at it, but everything has to be measurable, provable, and repeatable, which is the scientific method. And yeah, I'm a practitioner. I'm also a business coach. I'm a lecturer. I'm a professional speaker all over North America. But at the end of the day, for me, it's about research. And where you'll go and see a practitioner and they'll run one diagnostic test or two. I have over 22 modalities in my armamentarium, and I'll only take the top 10% of that to make sure that I've got a clear picture of what's going on with that patient, client, or customer that's sitting in front of me presenting with a problem. So everything I do has to be the scientific method measurement, which is measurable, provable, and repeatable. And so for me, understanding the Vastu was really quite something else. Hey, listen, we're trying to understand the subatomic world, the quantum physics, and the biochemistry. Quantum physics is the study of subatomic particle science. When you hear the word quantum mechanics, this is the process upon which subatomic particles react with one another. That's called quantum mechanics. We're studying this. In fact, the most expensive, the most elaborate, the biggest scientific experiment and piece of equipment on Earth is done over between two countries, between France and Switzerland, and it's the I'm sure you've heard of it. It's the particle collider, and this particle collider is buried up to 570 feet into the ground. Okay, so this is the Hadron Particle Collider. You can look this guy up. This exists. This instrument is buried 570 feet underground. Now, they bore a tunnel which is over 100 kilometers round in a perfect circle. And this tunnel is so big, you could drop the biggest excavator in the world and drop it into this tunnel. That's how big this instrument is. Over 100 countries, 10,000 scientists from around the world are working at this instrument over between Switzerland and France. This Hadron Collider is designed to do one thing: fire a proton, a subatomic particle, around the circle, okay, 100 kilometers around, and they speed it up faster and faster. Then they fire another proton in the opposite direction, and they start speeding it up until it reaches very close to the speed of light. Then they alter the trajectory of the two protons, they smash into one another, and in that split millisecond, they take a snap photo, and in the collision, they see all the subatomic particles, the God particles, the stuff of life, muons, quarks, all of these particles that we talk about. We're studying this. We're just beginning to understand how life works.
So the reality of this is, don't get scared, get excited. Because wouldn't it be fun to actually find out where your real birth was? Eh, Brian?
Can you imagine what an amazing time, Dr. Darrell, we live in, when we live in this time when we're beginning to discover all of these incredible sciences. We're out looking at other planets, revolving around other suns, right? So we're seeing all of these other possibilities where life can exist. And we're now looking at our own Earth and looking at our own bodies and looking at subatomic quantum physics, quantum mechanics. What an amazing time to be alive, to be excited about what's coming down. And that's what the essence of Vastu is. And then if we take a look at that and we bring in all of these amazing researchers, scientists, lecturers, these legends in health, these influencers and leaders in the natural, traditional, and alternative universes, and we bring them together. That's what I have been doing at one of my events called the Quantum Health Science Summit, where I teach professionals and practitioners, teach, train, coach, and motivate them about two things. First and foremost, understanding how the human body works, and number two, bringing all of these modalities together, whether you're a naturopath, whether you're an acupuncturist, whether you're a chiropractor, whether you're a nutritionist, no matter what your modality is, energy medicine, body work, bringing us together, because together we can be extremely powerful and we can have an incredible influence.
Yeah, and whether you're a lay person and you have an interest in this, it's called jump on in, because like I state, you need to become your own practitioner. I'm not talking about your own surgeon, but you need to understand your body and you need to understand your invisible body.
That's right. We're structure and function. Your structure is your organs and your glands, your bones, your fluid, your tissue, and your blood. But your function is electricity. And understanding how the electricity flows through the human body and how to capture that electricity and magnify it, amplify it, and rebroadcast it is the true panacea, the true fountain of youth. It's the true secret how to achieve outrageous health. Now, I'm not anti-medical, because God forbid something happens. You get into a car accident, you break a bone. We have the best boys and girls on earth right here in the allopathic conventional medicine model to put Humpty Dumpty back on the wall. But if you've got a chronic care issue, if you've got something going on with the electrical circuitry, if you've messed up your squash, then you're going to need to rely on the rest, the natural, traditional, and alternative universes. And remember, 85% of the world subscribes to natural, traditional, and alternative ways of healing. Okay? So don't forget that. We're the big boys and girls here on planet Earth, but we need to work together. So exactly like you said, Dr. Darrell, whether we're a layman, whether we're a layperson, whether we're a novice, whether we're a student, whether we're a professional, whether we're a doctorate, no matter what it is, We're all the same here at the end of the day. And the job of the National Conference of Traditional Healing is to bring the professionals, practitioners, the general public together for a symposium that presents all modalities from all walks of life, including the Vastu.
That's right. No matter what we're talking about, whether we're talking about medical doctors with emergency care, or whether we're talking about holistics, whether we're talking about people who work with energy, people who work on just the physical, herbal, nutritional, energy medicine, you know what? At the end of the day, we're all the missing pieces to the whole.
That's right. I'll never forget, like when we're talking about body work, you were at one of our quantum health science summits last year, Dr. Darrell, in March, and you came up with your son and you were doing the massage therapy and doing the technique that you do on the physical. And we saw a person that was in a lot of pain, and you went in there with your Dr. Darrell Doc of Detox method. And it was, where the issue is in the tissue. And that was just incredible to see live. And I don't think people understand and have a grasp of how powerful some of the modalities that you've pioneered really are. So, this is what I'm talking about. Bringing all of these amazing new sciences, discoveries, technologies, bringing them all together. That's what's really exciting. And also putting the pieces of the puzzle back together. And that's what we need to do. And remember, we don't know it all. But together, we can really, really have a better understanding of how to put Humpty Dumpty back on the wall.
Absolutely. And if I can say one thing, and I just want to put it out there, that if you are coming to the show and you've got a fibroid, or you've got a knee problem that they think you need to go to surgery, or you've got a hip problem where they think they need to put a rod in or fuse your spine, I want to hear from you, because we're going to be doing 2 hours where I will have myself and my staff there, where we'll actually be doing treatments to prove to you that surgery is not the first option. And even because if you go to a surgeon, he's going to tell you need surgery, or we'll keep an eye on it. I'm not sure how they do that. But the reality is this: you need to understand that you need to take personal action in all realms of your life and all levels of your life. And that's why you need to come to this conference, because we, not me, but we together have brought together all levels of healing. So we're all different. We have different personalities, different realities, and I'm sure you're going to find something there, because what a variety.
And yeah, when you go to the website portal, you go to my website, or you go to the Eventbrite for the Legends of Health, you'll see a complete listing of all of the speakers that are coming and a list of some of their workshops. And we really, really do cover all of the realms, everything from all around the world. And I think it's going to be tremendously exciting.
So what would you like to leave our audience with, Brian? In the way of information about you, about your organization, and things that they can take away and maybe just ponder on and think about today, okay?
Well, I think, Dr. Darrell, one of the things is, just to continue the conversation quickly on the Vastu.
Yes, please.
There's all these beautiful source energies, but there's another issue. It's the human man-made energies. These are the artificial energies. So a guy like Tesla, genius, comes along, and what he does is he creates the basic electrical framework that we know of today. And he developed it in something called 60 cycle energy. That's how the energy moves through this technology. It's called 60 cycle. Now, what happened is later, Tesla recanted, and he said, you know what, I made a mistake. It turns out the human body actually resonates at 50 cycles. So anything that could resonate higher could potentially damage the human body. So Europe adopted 50 cycle energy that we know today. But General Electric maintained the 60 cycle energy. So everything that we have here in North America that comes out of a cord or a plug or a wire is actually resonating 60 cycle energy. And this is not harmonious to the human body. And an interesting factoid is that for every watt of electricity going through a cord, this being one of the most inefficient systems, up to 18 watts of divergent non-collateral electricity leaves the cord and literally floods the entire perimeter where we're living. And this is being called now the new poison of our generation. EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies and radiation. And we know this in the cell phones as the telecommunication industry has come clean on the dangers of cell phones. It's on the manuals. It's written right there. The World Health Organization released a manifesto on it. And so we become very aware now of all of these devices which could be emitting harmful EMFs. And remember, if you're very sensitive, you're going to be very sensitive to these very interesting EMFs. The Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth, the cell phones, okay, and the new dragon, 5G. And so one of the concepts of Vastu is not to just give you the good side, but also how to create a good defensive posture. Once you create a good defensive posture, you can turn adversity into advantage. And so obviously, we're going to leave our audiences with all of the fixes that are required to remediate, if you will, these harmful EMFs. And if I can just talk briefly about the 5G dragon, to me personally, this is a double-edged sword. On one hand, I've been in a couple of automobile accidents myself, not caused by myself, caused by third party. And it was really devastating to me. And literally thousands of people all around North America are going to be in auto accidents today alone. When 5G comes online, it offers something interesting. Right now, the best that satellite can offer us is pinpoint accuracy of about 3 feet. With 5G, we have accuracy of positioning less than 3 centimeters. This is what's going to allow autonomous vehicles to exist. Very shortly, it will be a luxury, and a very expensive luxury, for you to free drive in the near future, because we will all end up with autonomous vehicles, which on one hand, because of 5G, will eliminate hundreds of thousands of automobile accidents and many deaths yearly. Here's the other side. There's actually no long-term studies showing its safety on the human body. And we know that if we go through the scanners at the airport, which is very similar to a milliwave like a 5G, well, a short-term exposure, we're pretty safe. But we have no idea what this long-term exposure is going to do to the human battery. We're just beginning to understand. And we're rolling this out without a full understanding of the implications of nature and human beings. And so at Vastu, we're going to address this issue head on. And so that's why I've been very, very passionate about it. So I'm going to leave your audience with that we're not going to leave them just with the understanding of the source energies and how to plug into them, but we're going to turn adversity into advantage. So I hope that you get a chance to come out to our Vastu Secrets Energy Workshop, part of the National Conference of Traditional Healing. Dr. Darrell, I cannot thank you enough for giving me this audience and symposium to deliver this great information. And again, my hat's off to you for all the amazing things you do and all the incredible speakers and all the amazing information you deliver to the universe, to the hundreds of thousands who listen to the Doc of Detox radio program. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Brian. I want everybody to understand something, that I've known Brian for years, and I will tell you something. To organize something of this magnitude and to have such amazing people coming to this lecture just shows you the respect that they have for Brian. And so understand something. This is an opportunity, and I really hope that everybody considers that, plane, train, bus, understand something. Information is the key to saving your life or ending it, okay? And understand something, to find this much information in a place in 4 days. So see if you can take 4 days out and really honor that physical being and also that invisible being that you truly are. All right, Brian, I want to thank you again for coming on the show. And can you come back on and please tell people where they can go for information on you and also on the Legends Conference? Thank you.
Well, certainly what I'll say is that most of my workshops, lectures are available at my website, which is very simple, BG, so B as in Bob, G as in good, Angel.com. BGAngel.com has all the links to all of my live events and get more information about myself. And then, of course, at eventbrite.com, you can key in Legends of Health in the search menu, and it'll take you right there to the conference page. But of course, don't forget, you can get a discounted ticket, all access to all of Doc of Detox, Dr. Darrell's appearance here in Toronto this spring. You can get all that as an all-inclusive, including all access to all the lectures, workshops, modules, and Legends of Health for the 4-day conference. That discounted ticket, if you go to eventbrite.com and just key into the search menu, Doc of Detox live in Toronto, you can take advantage of that special offer while it lasts. I'll say thank you to everybody. Have yourself a stress-free, healthy day. Bright suns to you all. And don't you dare forget, your final departure date can be delayed. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you, Brian. Have a beautiful day. And I want to thank everybody for joining me on the show today. And for those of you that have been calling in and writing in, if you want to take part of our AZ Wellness Masterclass, again, just go to the top bar and click on Masterclass and then put the code word Master and you'll be a lifetime member in there. You will have to put your visa in there. We will not charge you ever. So get it started. And also don't forget about every Monday, okay, I have a live Q&A. Send your questions in on Facebook, Intercom, or on YouTube. And understand, this is real questions answered live for you. And you can send them in even on the live show. We're on Facebook, like I said, YouTube, and Intercom. Okay? When you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe below and make sure that you click on the bell to enable notifications so you never miss a show. And just know that all our Q&As are time-stamped. So you can find the question and you can find the topic that every speaker that we have talk about. We're actually going back with all our shows so that you can find specific topics and just key in on that. And remember something, okay? The power to heal is yours. And also, we want to take our power back, but we want to stop giving it away. And remember something, correct empowering information is the key. God bless everyone. And never forget to take your power back. 3, 2, 1, you got this. If you're looking for life-saving and life-changing information, well, you've come to the right place. Don't forget to click and subscribe. Stay connected.